Back again, guys. I just did a review on the Stick V8 Baby, which is this vape pen right here, and previously I did one on this other pen, which is the Vape Pen Plus. And in the V8 Baby review, I was kind of comparing the two, but I didn't go into a whole lot of detail on that. So I just wanted to do a quick review, or a quick comparison basically, and just sort of reiterate all the pros and cons and which one would be best for you basically if you're trying to decide between the two. So also there's a cat laying in frame, but I'm just gonna leave him there. He's comfy and I'll just let that stay in the frame. So getting into it, the biggest difference between the two would probably have to be battery capacity and the tank size. The Vape Pen Plus only holds 4 milliliters, which it's a decent amount, and it'll get you through a couple of days if you're not vaping heavily. There's other tanks on the market that are much larger, but this is kind of like a middle to slightly large size, and it works for me. The V8 Baby has a 3 milliliter tank, so it's even smaller than the other one. And I have found that the biggest problem with this device is that you will run out of e-juice rather quickly, especially if you're using the coils like the X4. Like it comes with M-class coils, and they seem to burn slightly less vape juice, so the juice will last longer with them. But I'm currently running those X4 coils, which burn off your juice quite a bit quicker. So anyway, the tank size, if these are good for if you're just gonna use them on your way to work, or if you're going out for like a short night to a bar or a club or something. They both are good for that, but like I said in the other video, this pen is the one I choose for that kind of night out, and the biggest drawback is just the running out of juice before the night's over. But we'll go down some of the stats and compare them as best I can. They are kind of different pens, and you'll notice that as I go through the stats. So one difference is that the V8 Baby has a 510 drip tip slot or hole, and you can basically pick any drip tip you want that fits that 510 size, whereas the Vape Pen Plus does not have a 510 slot. The whole top drip tip is actually also the top of the pen, so if you twist it open, the inside where you fill it is right under this. So that's already a big downside to me, because I don't like this kind of top. You can't choose your own tip, and on top of that, the top itself, if you were ever lose it, it's kind of hard to replace because they don't make this other than for just this pen. So that to me is a big downside. The next thing would be, now that I'm mentioning the tops, on the Vape Pen Plus, to fill it you have to unscrew that whole top, whereas on the V8 Baby it's a swivel top, and I can just literally swivel the top open and fill it in that little slot there, and then swivel it back. One thing I mentioned in the other video is that to prevent leaking, you should always close this airflow ring right here, and then when you fill it, you would slide it open, fill it, flip it upside down while the airflow is still closed, let it rest for a second upside down like that, and then open the airflow while it's still upside down and hold it for another 5 or 10 seconds like that, and then flip it back over. The reason for that has something to do with air pressure, and I don't know why it works so well, but it does prevent leaking a lot more than if you just leave the airflow open and fill it up. And while we're talking about that leaking, that's the problem with all these SMOK vape pens. They've had some other models come out that supposedly make it leak less, like they're top airflow instead of bottom airflow, and different gimmicks like that. And I don't own those, so I don't know how well it works for them. But in the case of these two pens, they both leak, but the Vape Pen Plus tends to leak a whole lot more. Like almost every time I fill it and take it anywhere in the car, it leaks all over the place. and end up losing a third of my fluid or even half my fluid to leaking. So it's a big pain in the ass, and that's one of the reasons I've kind of stopped using this pen. Even though between the two, this one has better flavor, also better cloud production. It's just such a hassle because it leaks so much. So that is a big con for the Vape Pen Plus. I already mentioned the liquid capacity. As far as battery capacity, the V8 Baby has 2,000 milliamp hours, and this Vape Pen Plus has 3,000 milliamp hours. So the battery does last longer on the Vape Pen Plus, but I still tend to go with the V8 Baby because it's just better for a night out at the club where it's going to be in your pocket, or going out to eat, or whatever, wherever you want to take it. And it also leaks less, so that's still another reason why I take it everywhere. But yeah, as far as size, they're pretty similar in size. The Vape Pen Plus is thicker, as you can see. It's a little bit thicker in diameter, and it's shorter, so it's kind of weird. I kind of would have expected them to just, I don't know, you would think this one would be shorter because it's already smaller in diameter and it's meant to be more portable. But for whatever reason, the Vape Pen Plus, even though it's chunkier in like diameter, it's shorter in height. But they both fit in a pocket pretty easily. But once again, I still prefer the V8 Baby for carrying in a pocket like that. Between the two, the V8 Baby just is overall better to take with you to go on a night out. The battery's not going to run out by the end of the night. Before that happens, your tank's going to run out. That's the biggest problem, is I do run out of, I have to bring like a separate bottle or a spare needle tip bottle with me filled with my e-fluid, just in case I run out, which I almost always do. So, that's a drawback. Oh, I forgot to mention also, the other benefit to the V8 Baby that the Vape Pen Plus doesn't have is that you can remove the whole tank off the base. Like, it unscrews like any other of mod style tank. They all kind of, can be put on any mod box. And in this case, you could theoretically do that with this one. And I do plan to do that to get me by until I get a better tank for my mod box that I just bought. So you can't, on the Vape Pen Plus, the tank is literally part of the pen. Like, the glass goes onto the battery and the top secures that to the battery. So if you were to take the glass apart, you're literally like, there is no tank. The glass and the battery body form the tank in a way. So that's a downside also, because that basically means the V8 Baby has more customization options. And you can see, I mentioned that in the other video, I switched the glass with some glass that a Chinese online company makes. There's different colors you can pick, and that just means you can kind of customize the V8 Baby a little bit with your drip tip and your glass, and you can't really do anything like that with the Vape Pen Plus, unless maybe there's a company that makes some glass colors out there. But overall, the V8 Baby is just a little more convenient, less messy, easier to take around with you, and you can choose your own drip tip. So all those things kind of combine to make it the better option, even though I will say that the Vape Pen Plus has better flavor. It's just not worth all the hassle of it leaking, and it's just a pain in the ass. So they're both pretty similarly priced right now because they're both already older models by SMOK. So it's kind of up to you. If you really only care about flavor and you're going to have this sitting on a table straight up like this, like at your house while you're gaming or watching TV, maybe you would choose it over the other one in that case. But I will say, even standing straight up, I've had it leak on me after filling. A couple hours after filling it, I'll walk by and notice it's leaking all down the body and on the table. So I don't know what it is, but this one just loves to leak on you. So that's probably the biggest downside to it. But yeah, so I've said it in the other video, and I'll say it again in this one. I would choose the V8 Baby if these two are the only ones you're choosing between. SMOK already has other options now that might suit you better, but these two are both very cheap right now. I think you can get the Vape Pen Plus for only 20 bucks. So, or like $21, I think is the lowest I saw it recently. So yeah, you know, for under $30 you can get either of these, whereas the newer models are going to cost you $40 or $50 in some cases. So it's really up to you what your, you know, price range is. But yeah, my call is get the V8 baby, and it'll get you by while you're saving up for a better mod or better pen device. So that's sort of what I've done with it, and it's become my favorite pen to carry around right now. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to do a quick comparison and really like talk about the details between these two. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.